Belarus is a landlocked country in Eastern Europe bordered by Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia, known for its forests, lakes, and Soviet-era cities. It combines rich Slavic tradition with strong Soviet legacy. About 40% of Belarus is covered by forests with vast areas of untouched nature. This includes Belovetcha Forest, one of the last and largest remaining parts of the primeval forest that once stretched across the eastern European plain. It's home to the European bison, which is Europe's heaviest land animal and a national symbol of Belarus. While much of Europe has seen deforestation and urban expansion, Belarus has preserved a huge natural areas, which makes it an important spot for biodiversity. This is also why ecotourism and nature reserves play a growing role in Belarusian tourism and research. Through today, Belarus is an independent Slavic country. Much of its early history was tied to the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and later the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Many Belarusian cities like Novotroshak and Grodno were once political and cultural centers of the duchy. This shared history of Lithuania and Poland and the European means that Belarus has a deep multicultural roots, and many of its castles, churches, and places names reflect to that legacy. Belarus's first declaration of independence is 1918 as a Belarusian People's Republic during the collapse of the Russian Empire. It only lasted a few months before being overtaken by the Soviet forces. Later in 1991, Belarus declared independence again during the dissolution of the Soviet Union. But because it kept close political and economic ties with Russia, some argue that it maintained a soft independence for much of the 90s and 2000s. The name Belarus means white Rush, but its meaning is debated. The word Belarus comes from Bella, white, and Rus, an old name for the European Eastern Slavic lands. While some say white symbolized peace and independence, others think that it refers to the region that weren't conquered by the Mongols in the 13th century. Historically, the term White Russia was used in foreign texts, but Belarusians prefer Belarus, especially since gaining independence in 1991. Calling a White Russia today, it's seen as outdated and politically sensitive. Belarusians eat one of the highest amounts of potatoes per capita in the world. There are hundreds of ways to prepare them. Raniki potato pancakes, potato soup, kalduni dumplings, boiled with dill and butter. Potatoes are even called the second bread of Belarus. That's how essential they are to the national diet. Both Belarusian and Russian are official languages in the country. However, in everyday life, Russian is far more widely used. In schools, media, government, and cities. Belarusian is spoken more in countryside among intellectuals and during cultural revival movements. Under Soviet rule, Russian was prioritized in school and public life, but in the 1990s, Belarusian was spoken by only a small minority, mostly in rural areas. But since the 2000s, especially after the 2020 protest, there has been a growing revival movement. Minsk is the capital of Belarus. It's clean, spacious, and surprisingly modern city with deep Soviet roots. Known for its grand boulevards, Stalinist architecture, and peaceful parks, it blends history with a growing art scene and cafe scene. Highlights include the Independence Square, Victory Monument, Minsk Metro, and trendy spots like Oktyabrskyska Street. Despite its political tension, Minsk remains safe, welcoming a city with unique charm and calm, structured vibe. The Minsk Metro is one of the cleanest and fastest in Europe. It was one of the last built during the Soviet time in 1984. Stations have ornate chandeliers, marble walls, and Leninist quotes. Tickets cost around 80 kopecks, which is about 30 cents. And the whole system feels like a time capsule, efficient, stylish in a retro way, and very Soviet style. The president is Alexander Lukashenko, who has ruled Belarus since 1994, making him the longest-serving leader in Europe. He has outlawed independent media, jailed political opponents, rigged elections, and claimed to have love order more than democracy. Despite that, many Belarusians continue to resist through protest, culture, and quiet acts as defiance. In recent years, especially after the 2020 protest, this cultural movement has become more visible, mixing art, activism, and national identity. While Belarus has relatively good internet infrastructure, digital freedoms are limited. The government can block websites and apps, monitor online activity and social media, shut down the internet completely, As a result, many Belarusians use VPN, Telegram, and other encrypted platforms to communicate, organize, and access independent media. Unlike most former Soviet countries that moved towards capitalism, Belarus maintains a strong state-controlled economy. Many industries such as manufacturing, agriculture, and banking are still owned or heavily influenced by the government. However, Belarus is also known for high-tech exports, software, IT, outsourcing. Companies like Wargaming, which started in Belarus, and a growing number of tech startups despite a challenging political environment. Belarus offers a unique mix of Soviet history, untouched nature, and rich folk culture. You can explore Minsk's clean, retro-futuristic streets, wander around castles, visit UNESCO-listed forests, and taste traditional dishes like draniki and borscht. It's a place where modern life meets deep Slavic tradition with friendly locals and fewer tourists than other European destinations. Despite political challenges, Belarus is safe, fascinating, and full of hidden stories.